friends, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to Wednesday. It's marathon day and it is part 2 of a request. Last week we looked at the first part of Rage and we went from number 27 up to number 14. And this is part 2 where we do 13 to 1. So like I'll normally do, I'll go a quick recap of what we've done so far. So at 27 was 10 years in Rage. At 26 was Strings to a Web. At number 25 was 21. 24, The Devil Strikes Again. 23 was Carved in Stone. 22 was The End of Days. 21, Perfect Man. 20 was Unity. Number 19 was Reflections of a Shadow. 18 was Wings of a Rage. Number 17, Welcome to the Other Side. Number 16, A New World Rising. 15, Seasons of the Black, and number 14 was Sound Chaser. So we're going to start at number 13 today, which is their 18th album from 2006, and it's called Speak of the Dead. So we've got P.V. Wagner on vocals on this one, Victor Solmolsky on guitars, Mike Terrana on drums, and additional musicians. We've got the Inspector Symphonic Orchestra, conducted by Audrey Zubrick, and Thomas Hackerman does backing vocals. So the first bit is a little instrumental, and it's called Motori Te Salatant. It's a little started like of a Hollywood epic, and that goes into another instrumental called Prelude of Souls. It's got some brass on it, and the drumming is quite interesting. It's an interesting drum beat from Mike, which goes into Innocent, and this is a proper orchestral rock metal extravaganza. It's got pumping riffs, it's got dramatics. It is really good. Then we get another sort of little instrumental with violins and strings. Then it goes into a track called No Regrets. Now this has got this industrial drumming, some nice guitar work here from PB, really good. Then we get another little instrumental. All these little instrumentals are written by Victor, and this one is another instrumental with little bits of guitars. Then another short one called Black, and it's all orchestration piece, and it's quite moving, which goes hurtling it into Beauty. It's a bit of a ballady thing. The strings and the guitars work so well. But my favourite track on here is one called No Fear. I love this. The drumming is fantastic. The guitar work is good. And the vocal is super. Then we get Soul Survivor, a really good track. It's proper progressive metal. Lots of heavy riffs. Some great drumming. That bass line is super as well from PV. Absolutely brilliant. Then we've got Kill Your Gods. The drumming is a bit tinny towards the end. Turn My World Around sounds so much like the last track, so it's sort of these two tracks sort of belong together. Be With Me or Gone, solid. Great bass line on that. And Speak of the Dead, the drumming is really solid. Pretty good album. It's that the last few bits could have probably all sounded the same, so I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 6.4. Okay, coming in at number 12, the 26th album, and it was a double album, and it's called After Lifelines. So we've got P.V. Wagner on vocals and bass, Jean Borman on guitars, Valisios Manitopoulos on drums, and Marco Graskopf on orchestration. So disc 1 is entitled Afterlife, and the first one is In the Beginning. This is quite a nice little intro. It's got that medieval sort of minstrel feel to it. And then that goes into a track called End of Illusions. The guitar at the beginning is really good. I do like it. This is Jean Borman, really good. And then Valasios' drumming comes in. It's an excellent track. Under a Black Crown, Pretty solid, impressive drumming again from Belassos. He's a great drummer, really hits them drums hard. Then we have Afterlife. It's a sort of a singing. The singing's okay, but it's the music that sounds good on there. Dead at Man's Eyes. I'm not keen on the drumming on this. This is one track that sounds a little bit like something. It needed to be a bit more aggressive, I think, and more bassy. Mortal, the bass line is a little bit muffled. There's too much drums. As much as the drumming's good, you can't hear the bass. It should be the other way around. Toxic Waves, short, sharp, power metal track. Great vocal from PV. Water War, it's a little bit repetitive. It's a short track, which is the thing that makes it not so bad. Justice Will Be Mine. I love the opening riff. It's just absolutely dynamite. Then you get the drums on top of it. It's an excellent track. Shadow World. I would say this is the best track on this disc. The vocal is brilliant. I love the guitar solo on it. And the last one on this one is Life Among the Ruins. Not too bad to end that disc. So disc 2 is called Lifelines. And the first track is called Cold Desire. It's the piano at the start. It makes it real surreal. And then all of a sudden, bang, you're hit by this thunderbolt of heavy metal. Really good track to open disc 2. Root of Our Evil is next. Very commercial sounding. It's quite radio friendly, but I'd say it's got some of the most powerful riffs on it. Curse of the Night, not too bad. It's got an excellent bass line. Thunders along. One World, a little bit of keyboard orchestration which really adds to it, gives it that extra depth. It's a pretty solid song. It's All Too Much, dark track but very powerful riffs and a great vocal. My favourite track on here of the whole album is called Dying to Live. It's a bit of a power battle thing. I think it's a very good vocal from PV. The orchestral bits are fantastic. It just gives it this wonderful atmosphere. Excellent track. The Flirt, it's okay. It's not one of the best tracks. Lifelines, this is about 10 minutes. I love this. You get gentle phases, you get hard-hitting phases. The vocal is good. PV changes his vocal to suit that little bit of that track. It's really, really good. Then we get Interlude. It's a gentle piano piece with some nice strings, and then the track in the end, it's a bit of a power ballad. It's a really good track. Now for a double album, I think this is pretty good. There are a couple of filler tracks, but on the whole, it's a really decent listen. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, coming in at number 11, from 1995, we have Black in Mind, and it's some of the tracks are inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft. So on here we have got P.V. Wagner on vocals and bass, Sven Fischer on guitars, we've got Spiros Ephemidas on guitars, Chris Ebamidas on the drums. Additionals on here, we've got strings conducted by Christian Wolff on All This Time, and Benjamin Rinert on violin in The Nameless Time. So the first track is called Black in Mind, title track. Absolute killer riffs. The drumming from Chris is amazing. That twin guitar sound is really good. The Crawling Chaos, the snare drum just has got a little bit of a tinny sound to it, because it's a shame. It needed a better snare on that, but it's still a really good track. Alive But Dead is next. The drum is so much better on this. That snare, I don't know if it was a little tweak there, but it's really good. The guitar work again is brilliant. Sent by the Devil, I do like this track, but they got the drum mix a little bit off, I think, but it doesn't spoil the track. Shadow of Time, my favourite on here. Everything's good. The drumming, that rich sound sounds good. PV's vocal is dynamite. A Spider's Web. Now, there's an interesting drum timing on there, but it really works. It's an excellent track. That drumming does guide that song. In a Nameless Time, it's a real long track. It's 10 minutes, and it doesn't flow very well. There's a little bit in the drumming that it gets tinny, and yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. The Ice Cold of Destiny. I love the middle bit of this. That interplay between the bass and the guitars is really good. It's looked like they've got this little duel going on. It's a fantastic vocal from Peavy as well. Forever, again, the snare drum just sounds too shallow. It needed a little bit more tone to it. Shame. Until I Die, pretty solid drum. The drumming isn't so tinny, and it's got a really good guitar solo on. My Rage, good powerful song, great bass line, everything on the mix is good. The Price of War, yeah, some of the riffs are very Metallica, which is not a bad thing. It's a really good track. Start. Now the drums seems to go a little bit too fast on this. Everyone seems to be catching up, but it has got a great guitar solo on it. And the last track, All This Time, good track. Drumming's perfect on this. Superb track to end the album. This album, it's some great songs, but the drum mix is all over the place. Sometimes it's right, sometimes the snare is just a bit too tinny, and then some tracks the drummer goes too fast. I think if the drumming on this had been absolutely perfect all the way through, this would have been a lot higher. But I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 6 out of 6. 6.6, sorry. Okay, we're going into the top 10 now. So at number 10, we've got the 25th album released in 2021, Resurrection Day. And it marks the first Rage album with new lineup featuring Jean Borman and Stefan Weber. And it's their first album as a quartet since Ghosts. So it's Peavy on the vocals and bass, Jean on guitars, Stefan on guitars, and Vassilos on the drums. So the first track is called Memento Vitae, the overture. It's a little instrumental. It's got some lovely strings, clarinet even in there. It's really classical. And then that opening piece goes straight into Resurrection Day, and it's a belter. The guitar work is good. They've got this lovely twin guitar sound, and the bass is really good. Excellent. Virginity, a great little track. I love the bass line from Peavy on this, and the riffs, it's just riff central here. It's really, really good. A New Land is the next track. Interesting track. The vocal from Peavy is a little bit off in places, but on the whole it's good. But my favourite track from this one is called Arrogance and Ignorance. I think it's Vilas's drumming is so powerful, and that double bass drumming is phenomenal. It's an excellent track. Man in Chains is next. Starts off with a nice piece of gentle guitar, and then everything else comes in, and it's powerful. The bass and the drums just drive this track. The Age of Reason starts off with a little bit of orchestral, band comes in. It's got a quite commercial sound to it, but it's a good track. Monetary Gods, love the bass on this, it's powerful. And it's the highlight of that. Mind Control, I love the solo. It's got that twin guitar solo where they do a little bit each. Really sounds good. You can tell the different styles that blend to make it an excellent track. Travelling Through Time, love the orchestral bit in the background, really adds to this, gives you that extra depth. Black Room starts off with a really nice little bit of Spanish guitar, and then it goes into a sort of mediocre ballad. Extinction Overkill, this album ends with that powerful metal track with some great riffs as usual, great vocal from Peavy. The orchestrations on this are excellent. They're not prominent on all the tracks, but it's that underlying sound that gives it a really good tone. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 6.8. Need a drink already. Okay, coming in at number 9 is their debut album, and it's actually released under the name Avenger. They had to change the name to Rage because there was a British band called Avenger. Now, this came out in 1985. So the band on this first album is P.V. Wagner on vocals and bass, Johann Schroeder on guitars, Alf Meyer-Caton on guitars, and Jörg Michael on drums. So the first track is called Battlefield. It's a short track. It's quite raw. Peavy's, because this is 1985, obviously his voice is a little bit of another octave up. It's a cracking track. Back in the early days, he had such a really high-pitched sort of voice. It's absolutely brilliant. Southern Cross Union, just good old-fashioned heavy metal riffs without going overproduced. It sounds absolutely brilliant. Prayers of Steel is my favourite track. It's got one of the best guitar solos. It's a powerful rock track. Halloween, another really good. It's got that opening riff is very Iron Maiden. It's that twin guitar sound. It really works. Faster in Hell. It's fast, furious, brilliant. The drumming on this is absolutely awesome. Then we have Adoration. What a vocal from PV. Solid. The drumming again is really good. Rise of the Creature. The speed. I don't like the speedy drums on it. I don't like tracks where the drums just seem to go off and everyone seems to be catching up with it. Sword Made of Steel. I love the start of this. That little bit between the guitars and then the drum comes in. It's pretty good. Bloodlust. The riff sounds so much like Holy Diver, not Holy Rider, by Ronnie James Dio, but it's an excellent track. Assaulted by Satan, another of my favourite tracks. The bass and drums dominate this, and then you get these lovely little riffs in between and little bits of shredding and some solos, and it's a very, very good track to end the album. As I said, they're only named under the name Avenger. It's pretty raw. I do like this album though. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, at number 8, from 1993, the 8th album, and it's called The Missing Link. This is P.V. Wagner on bass, Manny Schmidt on guitars, and Chris Ethimidis on the drums. First track, Firestorm. I just love the title. I love the rawness. It's gone back to that first album sound, plug in and go rock. Absolutely terrific track. Nevermore, another great vocal from PV. It's gritty as well. It's a great track. Refuge, one of the best guitar solos on here. Manny, he's a good guitarist, and it's again, that snare camp was a little bit tinny. The Pit and the Pendulum, my favourite track on here. I love the melodic part in the middle. It's got some couple of good really solos on it as well. From the Underground. Chris's drumming at the beginning is brilliant, especially the double bass drum, and some lovely cymbal work on this. Peavy's voice is pretty solid as well. Certain Days. This is one of them tracks that's sort of very gentle, with some nice gentle guitar, and then all of a sudden that heaviness comes in like a thunderbolt and takes it off into different directions. Absolutely powerful track. Who Dares is next. Really meaty riffs on this one, and when the bass comes in, it just takes it to another level. Wake Me When I'm Dead. Very strange start. It's got a bit of drum on the rims, and then it is a little bit disjointed. It seems like it's 3 ideas that they put together just to make one song. Lost in the Ice is next. It's a little bit too long. It doesn't flow as well as some of the other longer tracks they've done. Again, I think it's sort of 2 or 3 little projects put together. Dari's Black Page is a very solid track. I think the bass line on here from PV is excellent. The Missing Link, solid. There's some incredible riff work on this. Pretty solid track to end the album. A great album. Some of the drumming's a little bit tinny in places, but it doesn't really spoil this. This is a powerful, solid metal album. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.2. Okay, number 7, we have the second album, and it's their first album under the name Rage. It came out in 1986, and it's called Reign of Fear. So we've got P.V. Wagner on vocals, Jochen Schroeder on guitars, we've now got Thomas Grunin on guitars, and Jörg Michael on drums. First track, it's called Scared to Death. I love Jörg's drumming on this, absolutely brilliant. It's a great vocal from P.V. Deceive Ya, fast, furious, real good metal. The twin guitars are on fire. I do like that. Title track, Reign of Fear. I love how this starts. It's hard and heavy, and then all of a sudden it becomes more melodic. Very clever how they do that. It's a lovely changeover from the gritty to the melodic. And the Glory, what a track. It reminds me of the early days of Halloween on the Walls of Jericho album, and that powerful riffs, the vocal as well from P.V. It's very similar to that. It's a fantastic track. Raw Energy, my favourite track, and it is raw. It's just classic heavy metal from that time. A great vocal from P.V. I do like that. Then we get Echoes of Eagle. Not a fan of this. Everyone seems to be catching up with each other. Doesn't fit at all. Chaste Flesh, I just call this good old-fashioned heavy metal. Does what it says on the tin. Great drumming, thumping bass line, guitar riffs all over the place. Excellent. Suicide, pretty solid track. It's very simple, but the drumming really adds to it. And the final track on this one, Machinery, just a very, very powerful power metal track. Excellent riffs all round. The very first name under Rage, and they took what they did on the Avenger album and just made it a little bit more polished, but it still sounds great. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay, number 6, 7th album, released in 2002, and it's called Trapped. The band on this one is P.V. Wagner on vocals and bass, Manny Schmidt on guitars, and Chris Ethamides on the drums. First track, Shame on You. I love the drumming on this from Chris. Gritty. Back it up with a gritty bass line, and Manny throwing in the odd riff and shred. Good track. Solitary Man, another fine performance on the drums from Chris. I think this is a very, very solid track. He did have problems with his snare at times, but when it was on form, he was brilliant. Very, very solid track. Enough is Enough is my favourite track on here, and I reckon this is one of Chris's best drumming performances. It's absolutely brilliant. The clarity of it, the sound of it, it's just excellent. Throw in a few good riffs as well, and it is a powerful song. Medicine, great vocal from P.V. on here. The bass line just rattles around on that one. Questions. It's another of those that starts really vibrant with some thundering riffs. Then 3/4 of the way through, it changes down to a more gentle few moments before they go back into the power. I like when tracks do that, and that is just a fine example of it. Take Me to the Water. This starts with a howling wind and the drums come in, the cracks of lightning and all that. That starting riff is eerie, and it's just one of them riffs that sort of defines heavy metal. And there's lots of noodling on here as well, which is pretty good. Power and Grieve. That's what it says on the tin. Proper heavy metal with a fantastic guitar solo. The Body Talks. They put some effects on the drums, and it's sort of a wavy sound, and it really fits. And the guitar work on this is super. Not Forever, a really melodic track with a great riff. I do like that one. Beyond the Wall of Sleep. It's P.V.'s bass line that drives it. And then halfway through, The drums take it to the next level. The drumming on this is superb. Baby, I'm Your Nightmare, which is a very melodic place in places. Excellent track, brilliant riffs, great vocal from PV. And then they do an Accept cover from their Restless and Wild ending, Fast as a Shark. It's a little bit too fast for me. The original is fast and furious, but it doesn't have the same ring to it. And there's only one man that can sing that, and that's Udo. Pretty solid album, some great tracks on here. Not keen on their Fast as a Shark, but I'm still going to give that a RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 5 is their 11th album from 1996, and it's called Linga Mortis, and it's their first collaboration with the Prague Symphony Orchestra. So, apart from the Prague Symphony Orchestra, the band is P.V. Wagner, Spiros Ephemedius, Sven Fischer, Chris Ephemedius, Christian Rolfe is on the piano, and the conductor is Marcus Stolberg. So the first track is this, and it's the best track on the album. It's an 11-minute epic called In a Nameless Time. I love the marching drum at the beginning, the strings. It's just an orchestra and heavy metal band in total cohesion. Wonderful track. You get the guitar riffs, and then you get the orchestra taking over doing their lead bit. It really is a brilliant, brilliant track. Alive, but they're another great song, great vocal from PV. Then we have the Linga Mortis medley, which is parts of the songs Don't Fear the Winter, Black in Mine, Firestorm, Sent by the Devil, and Lost in Ice. It's some of them earlier tracks with the orchestral, and how good does it sound? 15 minutes and 33 seconds of wonderful symphonic rock with an orchestra. Then we get All This Time, an edited version. It's a really nice vocal from PV. And then Alive But Dead, but there's an instrumental, and it's the orchestral version, and it is brilliant. It just proves that you can write decent heavy metal and then give it to an orchestra to perform wonderfully. It's an interesting album, you know. It's sort of new tracks, put a few tracks from old albums together with the orchestra. I love it though. It's an excellent album regardless. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 7.7. Okay, and I've got a squeaky seat again. Pardon me, sorry. Good. So shall we start again? Number 4 is the 5th album from 1989, and it's called Secrets in a Weird World. So the band is P.V. Wagner on the bass, of course, Manny Schmidt on guitars, Chris Ephemedius on the drums, and we've got an additional Gary Marlowe on the keyboards. So the intro is a little piano, but it's a very classic sort of piece, and it's Opus 32 number 3. It's quite nice, which goes nicely into Time Waits for No One. The start of this is brilliant. Manny's riffs are just firing straight in, no mucking about. That double bass drum sounds great. Excellent track. Make my day. I do find this a little bit disjointed. I feel that Peavy's catching up with his own vocals. He hasn't got a good flow on that. The Inner Search, the start of this is great. The bass is so daunting. Ooh, when the drums come in, it sort of gives it lifts it, but it's them power riffs that really add to that. Invisible Horizon's my favourite track from this album. It's very powerful. The drums are magnificent. Another great vocal from PV. She starts slow and builds up, and it's got a fine guitar solo from Manny Schmidt. Excellent track. Light Into the Darkness. I do like tracks that just come straight in with a guitar solo. No messing about. Straight in with a bit of a solo. Great track. Talk to Grandpa. The best bit is the middle bits. You got these guitars and these rolling little drum beats. I love it how the beat changes on that. Distant Voices. My favourite start of this track. It's just bang in. Absolutely fabulous. I like tracks that don't have no intro sometimes, just full on. And then Without a Trace. You think you're going to get a melodic track with this. It starts off nice and steady, and then Chris just ups the tempo and it takes it to another dimension. What a track to end the album. Pretty solid album again. I love all the guitar work on this. There's a few surprises how they take the tracks, so I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 7.8. Top 3. Very hard to these top 3 because these are the best albums. So at number 3, the third album from 1987, Execution Guaranteed. The band is P.P. Wagner, vocals and bass, Jochen Schroeder on guitars. We've got Rudi Graf on guitars and Jörg Michael on drums. First track, Down by Law, very solid start. The mighty drums of Jörg Michael. The little guitar work between Rudy and Jochen just works. Favourite track is the title track, Execution Guaranteed. Probably one of my favourite all-time tracks by Rage. I love the galloping drums, followed by the galloping riff and the galloping bass line. It's all really a gallop. It's brilliant. Before the Storm, in brackets, A Secret Fire. Absolutely brilliant guitar solos on here. I think they do one each. It's absolutely brilliant. You can't knock that track. Street Roof is one of them melodic tracks with some great sort of sound effects on it. It's a great vocal from PV. Deadly Error. Love the start of this. It's got a nice acoustic guitar. The rain gives it that eerie atmosphere. And then the strong riffs come storming in. It's a great track. Hatred, meaty riffs from the beginning and a great bass line that sort of shimmers through the track. A great vocal from PV, a real early power metal track that is. The Grapes of Wrath. I love the start of this, that little bit of guitar, some bells, then you get that big booming bell and then everything comes in. It's like that death bell. Absolutely stunning. Mental Decay is next. Two of the great guitar solos on here. Brilliant little track. And the last track, When You're Dead. As I said before, some of these tracks remind me of the Walls of Jericho. And I think on this one, PV did have a little bit of better voice than Kai. I really like this album. I think this is a better album than the Walls of Jericho that came out roughly the same time. The twin guitar is brilliant on this, so I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Number 2 is the 14th album, and this is a album with the Lingua Mortis Orchestra, released in 1999, and it's called Ghosts. So it's P.V. Wagner on bass, Sven Fischer on guitars, Spiros and Chris Amadis. Spiros on guitars, Chris on the drums. And this has got Victor Samolsky doing some additional guitars on it as well. And he actually was producer and engineer, so an ex-member doing the legwork, and Kristen Rolfe on the piano. And of course we've got the Lingua Mortis Orchestra. Beginning of the end. I love the start of this. It's the piano is haunting from Christian, and there's some clarinet on here that really makes it even eerier. Brilliant track, great vocal. Back in Time. I love the orchestration on this. It's just an excellent track. It's a fine vocal from PV as well. The title track, Ghost, is my favourite. What a vocal from PV, one of the best he's ever done. And the strings on this just add to it. It's a magnificent track. Wash My Sins Away. I love when an orchestra joins a heavy metal band. It's wonderful. And about 3/4 of the way, you get this lovely piano solo with a bit of strings. It's fabulous. Fear. eerie piano at the beginning. It's quite scary, and it builds up. The drums come in with some kettle drums in there. It's got everything, and it's got a brilliant solo on it as well. Love, Fear and Unite, piano start, some nice guitar. The orchestration on this is wonderful. It really adds to it. Vanished in Haze. I love the guitars at the beginning. You got Spiros and Sven doing some wonderful little interplay together. A fine vocal from Peavy. It's a great power ballad with some super orchestration in it. Spiritual Awakening. The vocal effects that I've got for Peavy on this, I don't know how they do it, but it sounds good. The drums really make this track. There's some more killer guitar solos. Love After Death. Chris's drumming is absolutely on point here. It's got a great tone to it. And then we have More Than a Lifetime. Fantastic start. Piano really sets the scene. And then in the middle it comes back. And then this sort of kettle drum effect with strings is fabulous. Tomorrow's Yesterday. A great track to end the album. The orchestration really has it. And it's some fine drumming from Chris on this. I'm a huge fan of these collaborations, and I think this has got some of Chris's best drumming. It's like a mini rock opera, this is. It's absolutely brilliant from top to bottom. So I'm going to give that an RTO ranking of 8.3. But my number one album is their 13th album, and it's just called 13, and it was released in 1998, and it's another collaboration with the Lingua Mortis Orchestra. So basically it's the same lineup: Peavy, Spiros, Sven and Chris, Christian Wolff on piano and the orchestra. So the overture is a little start, but it's actually composed by Christian himself. The piano and bass really work well. When the drums come in, it just takes it up. You knew something's building because it doesn't want to end, and when it does end, it goes into the best track on the album, From the Cradle till the Grave. Fabulous. Oh, the middle bit with the strings in the guitar really is good. It's eerie, a little bit of clarinet there, it just adds to it. It's a magnificent track. Days of December, the bass and the riffs, you get this real meaty heavy metal track. In comes the orchestra as well, just to boost it even more. Sign of Heaven, the middle bit, you've got this real raunchy rock track, and the strings just come in. Peavy's vocal, just wonderful, and there's a lovely piano piece in there as well. Incomplete. It's the continuation from the last track at the end. They take it, the orchestral sort of takes over for a bit, and then the heavy stuff comes in. And what a bass line. Turn the Page. Well, it's just powerful. Heavy metal with an orchestra, it's just, you can't beat it when it works, and it works so well on that track. Heartblood, very strange starting. It's a bit Australian. Now, it's got that sort of wow. Now, if you remember in Crocodile Dundee 2, when he stands on that thing and swings that thing round, it's like that. And then the orchestra comes in. It's just, haunting, and with a killer guitar solo on it. I love that track. Over and Over, a great rock track with the orchestration. It's not taking the highlight, but it's in the background there doing a great job supporting the metal. In the Vein, this starts off with a classic guitar twinged solo. It's quite melodic, and then the orchestral really comes through. Immortal Sin, it's got a great driving bass line with Peavy and the great little guitar bits. Then they do a really great version of Paint It Black, the Rolling Stones. Totally different, it's more dramatic, but it's the orchestral bit that really adds to it. It's just a fantastic cover of that song. Just Alone, I love the didgeridoo on this. You don't expect didgeridoo on a heavy metal album. Brilliant. The drumming's good, and there's some lovely clarinet. What a track to end the album. I think this is a brilliant album, full of orchestra, rock band, with some really interesting Australian bits of cultural on it, and it's got a very good version of Paint It Black. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. So there we go. I really enjoyed this, and I know Lloyd from Australia's enjoyed this. So this has been a great one to do, and it's nice to give this band a little bit of love. They've been around a long time, and they are an important part of the heavy metal scene. Okay, that's all for today. Back tomorrow. We've got a sophomore dome tomorrow, and tomorrow we've got sort of a grungy sort of one. We've got Nirvana and Radiohead, and also tomorrow we have got a top 10, and I think it's a US top 10 for the 13th of November 1960. So join me that for tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody, and the good news is it stopped raining. Bye for now.